Okay, I think we're back. I think it's better now. I see green things, which is better than red. Let's see. You guys let me know how streaming's doing. Like maybe in like the next 5 minutes. Welcome everybody. We're having some tech difficulties just earlier, but just like every IT problem, it probably is resolved by restarting the machines. So I think we're good. You look a little cold. It is a little chilly actually, so I might actually let's put this jacket away though. I might actually wear this because it's kind of cold. Oh, hug JD. As a Turkish seafarer, I have no idea what this board is, but seems cool. All right, I'll hug JD. Alright, so I think we're good to start now. Just based on that. Let's get started. Oh, I got this wet. I want to show you guys. I think someone had asked me the other day, like on Discord, how to clean keycaps. How to clean keycaps, and so this is how I do it. So here I just have some double shots. Right now obviously it's pretty clear, but basically just pour some warm water, and I use like the water here looks like kind of bluish, right? So that's because of the denture tabs, so I use denture tabs, and then you just put the caps in, and it's basically like light soap. So yeah, and then it'll like get all the gunk off, and then what you're gonna do afterwards is you air dry, and you can like wipe them off with a towel or something, and it'll help in getting all the gunk off from the keycaps and whatnot. It does a pretty good job, just generally speaking. Light soap, like light detergent, works as well. But in the case of denture tabs, it's easy because you can just plop them in and they just do the thing. But yeah, pretty important that it is actual warm water instead of boiling hot. Yeah, so you definitely want to use warm water. Nothing too hot, and cold water is fine too, to be honest. But warm is gonna be better for. Oh shit! These things are wet for your keycaps. Oh well. Whatever, we can ignore that. All right, let's get started. Yeah, well, the Desmond just got like wet, that's all. All right, so let's unpack this bad boy. Your mouse is rusting. All right, let's get this out of the way. Brown spot just like a real banana? True. You have an ultrasonic cleaner? I mean, I don't, so that's why I use that. Ultrasonic cleaners obviously work better, but I don't want to buy one, so I just use soap and water. It's easier that way. How are you doing this weekend? I'm doing okay. It's been a fairly productive weekend, I would say, for once. But yeah, it's been an enjoyable weekend. I've just been running a lot of errands, doing a lot of work, actually. Alright, so here we have our case. The CAKE60. I got a few boards built over the weekend, some off-stream stuff, and packed some stuff up from before, ready to send out. Took some pictures, things like that. So as you can see, the CAKE60 is interesting because little piece of gunk there. Because it basically is hollowed out at the bottom. So it's not like a solid wedge case that goes all the way down here. It's hollowed out like that. So it's actually pretty light. So you only really have this much of case here, which is pretty interesting. Definitely have not seen cases like this before, but it's nice. It's pretty conservative on the amount of material being used here. Sorry if it's scuffed. It's okay, dude. Don't worry about it, hey. But yeah, it looks nice. As you can see, unicorn style O-ring mount. The USB port is here on the left. Nice USB cutout, actually. I really like it. Knowing Mr. Hate over here, there's probably concentric circles in every single corner you can see in this keyboard. But you know, part of the design language. All right. Oh yes, it has new feet as well, actually. So I believe the previous iteration, right, Mr. Hate, had square bump-ons. This one has these longer ones, right? Or was it the new one that had the square ones? I actually don't remember. You might want to clarify that. But, you know, doesn't matter. I think the bottom line is we have different feet from... yeah, square ones were from R1. There you go. And now we have these longer semi-cylindrical with a little lip, so it sticks better to a flat surface. Pretty nice. I actually like these a lot. The square ones look very unique, but I think these just work better. So I do like these. Here we have our O-ring. Pretty decently elastic, but also not too soft. I actually don't know what the elasticity of this is going to be, or like the geometer measurement. Here we have our lubed Gateron X switches. They look like regular GATs, regular GAT Milky, but these are the Gateron X. I can show you maybe. So let's see. There we go. There you have the X mark here, Gateron. So this is the Gateron X switches. X marks the spot, yeah. So what's the difference between the Gateron X and the regular Milky Yellows? The Gateron X, I believe, are really smooth. I believe they're like polished? Yeah, I think polished is the right word. I think it's similar to OP Blacks in the way they do that. They're like polished sides and whatnot. Here we have some stabs, PCB, and plate. And just in case Mr. Hate wonders, the other thing is in a separate bag, so I just left it there. Alright, so here we have our plate. Today we have a nice fixed ANSI plate here. This fixed ANSI plate has 7U only, and split backspace support, step caps lock support, right shift support, but it's fixed ANSI otherwise. Very nice and clean. Nice rounded corners here. The cutouts for the switches actually look great, nice and sharp, with a slight rounded corner too, but it's not rounded enough that it would prevent your switches from clipping in, so this should actually take in switches really nicely. It's a nice sort of, it's like yellow, it's really more like a goldish sort of tone. It's like kind of like this, but it looks fantastic. I really like this color actually. I would like to have more. I would like to have a case of this color. Case of this color would be perfect. Oh, I gave them the Serika Pantone. Oh, so this apparently matches the Serika Pantone. That's pretty sick. It's like a mustard color, yeah. Thought it would be more unusual from going with brass. I do agree. I mean, it is not quite the same as brass. Brass actually has a slightly lighter tone to this than this. So this is really nice. So this is a PCB by, it's a collaboration PCB here, CAKE60 R1. It says over here, and there's like these stabilizer silk screens, as Mr. Treeleaf just suggested. And there's also caps lock LED support if you want that. You can have it. It's 7U only, which is great. Has your nice cutouts for the O-ring mount. Again, pretty much the same support as far as the layout. It's 7U, step caps lock and regular, split backspace and regular, and split right shift and regular. But very nice. And here we have the HAYTCO and Heinebush logo. H60 Win Keyless HAYTCO design. Very clean. Lightning gets credit for the yellow PCB. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of yellow PCB, guys. I'm a huge fan of yellow PCBs. Because they look unique, and it's not like a it's not like this yellow. It's more like a mustardy almost yellow, and I love it. I love this color for the PCB. It's just unique. But yeah, looks lovely. The traces look super clean. Just in case you wonder what this is, there was a little error with the trace here, so I just bridged it to fix it. But that's about it. Yeah, USB-C on the left side, so nothing too complicated there. I hope you have Serika. I do. I already have Serika ready, my friend. If you were wondering, I already had it prepared. Because I knew that Serika would be the best choice for this. Anyway. And because I was also asked to have Serika around. Am I getting a refund then? Yeah, sure, I'll give you your refund. It's fine. I'll actually refund you that. All right, so I guess let's get started. So I already tested the PCB, so we don't have to do that because I had to test it to fix that little thing. So we won't have to do that. Let's just get right into lubing these stabs and getting it built. Does Heine use a black FR4 substrate for all his PCBs? They all have that same black border? Perhaps. Only person to ask that would be Mr. Heine. Oh yeah, so not long ago I got a milk frother. You can see this is a matcha latte. And so I've been making matcha lattes every day since I got it. It's great. I love it. That's an awesome color. Yeah, it's mostly the foam at the top mixing in with the deeper green part of the latte, so that's what it is. Really. Do you have any matcha KitKats? I do not, because those are, I think you have to import them actually, so no. Gotta ask Zeal for those? Yeah, well, Zeal, I remember I bought some switches and I got a bunch of KitKats with it one time. There's a while, it was like a long time ago when I actually bought switches from Zeal PC. Not anymore though. Had a matcha latte yesterday? Nice. I ordered black eye for 4 half-plates directly from Elecro because it's definitely possible. Yeah, so I do know Mr. Bush does use... he might use a couple of different PCB fabs actually. Elecro is probably one of them. But yeah, it's really nice, this PCB. I believe I saw the same color PCB for the LZ Ergo boards, the physics and the phase, I think, use the same yellowish PCB. I don't know if I run any other yellow ones, actually. Yo, Minty Boy, thank you so much for the resub. Long time watcher, second time subber, hope you're doing well today, thank you. Thank you. I am doing well today. It's been a productive weekend for me, so it's been pretty nice to kind of be on top of my shit for once. Alright. Alright, let's lube these stabs. I've only really heard of JLC and Oshpark for prototyping. I see. So we have clip-ins today. For those of you who might not know, when you have O-ring boards, because the O-ring's supposed to go all the way around the switches, right, between the PCB and the plate. Anywhere where you see stabilizers that are like facing an edge, the stabilizers can sometimes, depending on which stabilizer you're using, can push out the O-ring a little bit further than what the switch would. So you want to use clip-ins because they have the smallest footprint. If you use screw-ins, for example, here in the backspace or here in the spacebar, it can push out the O-ring a little further and make it too tight for it to fit in the case. So that's why you need to use clip-ins here and here, and then you can use screw-ins for the enter and the shift key if you want, but it's option, it's up to you. Only using TX stabs now? Well, that's assuming you can get the TX stabs. I did get a couple to try out, and so yeah. Missed the drop today? Oh shoot, it was today too, yeah, the second one. Yeah. I got the ones from the last one. There's and also Mikibo was gonna send a set of them for feedback, just in case. So, but IMO from having tried the first ones, the revision 1, they're pretty good except for the not the shims, the little clips, the toothpick like ones. Those are were too blunt, and so now they are slightly sharper, which should make it easier to insert. Yeah. And according to Mr. whatchamacallit, what's his name? Ken. According to Ken25, he revised the stabilizers to be better compatible with 1.2mm PCBs as well. Diego, do you know the toothpick mod? How do you do that? Oh, it's super easy. Toothpick mod is literally you just insert a toothpick in between the part that clips here, right here. You see how it's like separate, like split in two? Just insert a toothpick and then clip it. Like clip the toothpick, like cut the toothpick basically. So it just stays there. That's it. It's as simple as that. Do you recommend toothpick mod? It doesn't hurt. I mean, toothpick mod is essentially the equivalent of using like a screw for like a screw-in stabilizer. Basically, all it prevents is from the clip to compress and therefore come off. So sometimes when you use like very tight keycaps that go onto the stabilizer and the switch, when you pull the keycap out, you can accidentally pull out the clips of the stabs too, so the stab will come off with it. Toothpick Mod basically just prevents that. It's really simple. You can use like any household toothpicks, which is what I do. I just have a box of like the 500 ones or whatever, and I just use that. Like, if you already have toothpicks at home, you know, don't go buying new ones just because they're supposedly more convenient. Is this Gerudo Valley? Yes, it is. I was tapped and caught off guard. Anyway, hope y'all had a good weekend. It is already Sunday though, which is kind of hard to believe. I feel like the weekend just flew by, even though it was pretty good. It's like the week doesn't feel that way when it's work hours. Struggle bus. The days are long, but the years are short. Yeah. Well, I don't know. 2020 felt like forever to me, and 2021 was a-okay. It's like kind of somewhere in between, I think. But it's kind of crazy to think that, yeah, it's already 2022 now. That said, I don't really try not to count the years too much. I don't really feel that much different from who I've been. I still feel like I feel like around the time, I feel like I haven't changed too much since I like switched careers basically. I think that's around the time when I like really had a big change, and then it's kind of been the same since. It's already February, which means it's practically spring. Okay, February is not practically spring. First of all, we still have a week left for February in the first place. It's not practically spring. February is actually worse in terms of weather because it's super windy. No. Practically spring my ass. Yeah, February is the worst in the winter. Not much to change because you're perfect as you are. Okay, buddy. I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with that, but I appreciate Mason. I think you need to visit Mason. Like once you visit, you'll know how shitty I am in person. It's okay though. The food will make up for it, hopefully. TX tabs are great, Minty boy. The only problem with TX tabs right now is supply. Like we still don't have enough supply to cover the market. So they're currently doing drops, like in stock, first come first serve drops, and they're pretty. They go super quickly, and so rather inconvenient right now to get any. It's just difficult actually. Hopefully the supply chain will catch up with that. With the whole TX tab issue. But apparently there's a lot of manual labor involved in doing these tabs and making these, so I think that's kind of like where the bottleneck is. I guess it's a matter of time though. February's still big chance of snow where I am anyway. Yeah. Even here in New York does not get a lot of snow anymore, really. At least not New York City here. Like it's kind of further south now that it doesn't really affect us that much. Also, they clean the snow so quickly. But yeah, February when I used to live in Connecticut, it was definitely the worst month. Like there was a big chance of snow. Actually, we got snow all the way until April. So yeah. I would say that February is just like still the beginning. Or like somewhere in the middle, I guess. Not any close to the end of the winter. Honestly. Manual labor in the packaging? No, it was something else. I recall him commenting on the Instagram. What was it? Was it the wires or was it the... I think it might have been the wires. It was either the wires or the inserts. Something about the stabs had manual labor involved, and Ken was like, "Oh, like we can't speed that up." I thought it was interesting because I figured these were just all made, by machine. But yeah. I think it's the QC maybe for wires and such. I'm gonna guess. We just got 2 inches of snow last night. We have not gotten any snow really. Like there's been some snow, but it melts super quickly. But the packaging is definitely some work too. Hate now that you think about it, because the packaging is like there's these boxes with the foam. Yeah. What is this copy pasta? If Diego has million number of fans, I'm one of them. If Diego has 10 fans, I'm one of them. If Diego has only 1 fan, that is me. If Diego has no fans, that means I am no more on the earth. If world is against the Diego, I am against the world. I love the lightning keyboards till my last breath. Die hard fan of Diego. Hit like if you think Diego best keyboard influencer and smart in the world. I love the broken English too. What are you lubing with? XHT? No, I'm using 205 grade 0, which is my lube of choice for stabilizers in general. I know that people might be like, oh, 205 is so 2019, bro. But I personally prefer 205 for stabs. It's easier to manipulate for me. The wire ends are beveled, so that might be it. Ah, okay. Interesting. Come to Brazil? I thought you were in Chile. Clip-ins and 2.5, you must be poor. Oh yeah. God. What a pleb. Super lube? Yeah, I do remember I would use a lot of super lube too before even 2.5 was like around. Oh, 2.5 grade 0 specifically was out. I would use a lot of super lube. I also used dielectric grease for quite a long time. And then once 3204 and 2.5 came out, I was on that train and then haven't looked back since. It is expensive, 205, but IMO, it's worth it. I don't even use that much for switches though, so most of my 205 usage goes into the stabilizers. Diego, I got into hobby in 2020. Is 205 only from 2019? Figure it was used for longer than before. 205 has maybe been around since 2018, something like that. It was not around the first year of the hobby for me. It was later on, because. So 205 grade 0 specifically, not 205, any 205, it has existed for a very long time. 205 in general has existed for a long time, but access from our community to the production line of 205 grade 0 has only been around for maybe, like 3 years, three and a half years, yeah. And it only is around because back then Binge from Hungerworks Studio and Krellbit from switchmod.net had partnered up to work with Miller Stevenson Chemicals to have Triboster 204 was the first thing that was introduced into the community, and then Krytox 205 grade 0 was introduced afterwards. And yeah, it was back then. It was like it's kind of pretty revolutionary because it would replace all these lube mixes that we had. Like back then we had like Krytox thin, Krytox thick mix, which basically was a mix of 200 series and 100 series Krytox oils and greases, or greases and oils respectively. And now it's like we use these single formula chemicals that just work really well, so it's nice. Yeah, but it's only been around for a few years. It has not been around for like that long. And it also took a little time to adapt to it. Like people picking it up and being like, oh, we can use this for switches and also stabs. Dielectric grease is still a thing. I believe Mr. Alex uses dielectric grease still quite a lot. I think Apiary might still use dielectric grease. I actually don't remember. I know Minterly also used dielectric grease for a long time. No, dielectric grease is still widely used for stabs. It just depends. I don't have a tube of dielectric grease anymore, so I don't use it because I just don't want to buy a new tube, and those tubes last basically forever. I just had given it to a friend and never asked for it back, so that's why I don't have any anymore. But yeah, like dielectric grease is fairly cheap and abundant, so much easier to get and cheaper. Oh, Alex only does 205 on stabs. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Yeah, but yeah, there's still people who do use electric though, so it doesn't really matter in my opinion. Like there are small differences, like maybe like how long things might stay in place or how easy it is to apply. That kind of stuff like might be the main differences. But as far as like what you're trying to do with the lube is the same idea, is just to fill in that gap and to prevent the wire from making a sound that's unpleasant when it's moving around in the socket of the stabilizer insert. That's pretty much all you're trying to really prevent. And yeah, XHT BDZ works as well, and that's why people are using it. The reason why people like XHT is because it's really, really thick. The inconvenience of XHT is that you can really only use it for the wire. You can really only use it for the wire. You can't use it for anything else really because it's way too viscous. Yeah, BDZ works. BDZ works perfectly fine. I mean, in fact, some people will tell you that BDZ is their lube of choice for stabilizer wires and such. So yeah, it definitely works. Some people think it's a godsend. So yeah, I personally have some BDZ as well. I've tried it too. It works fine. The only reason I don't use it is because I don't like it when it mixes with other things, and also it's just a little messier to work with. IMO. And by messy, I really mean just like how it kind of like paints your stab. It really it's like so viscous. It's almost like it almost looks like whiteout. And it kind of just like paints the stab as soon as you apply it. And relubing with it always seems like a pain since it's so thick. Yeah, so there's that too. So no matter what lube you're using, the lube is going to displace. Eventually the lube will move around based on how you store it, how you use it, maybe simply based on where it's located and how you like applied it. There's no real way to prevent that. It'll just happen with time. Sometimes it's a very short time, perhaps because you didn't apply enough, but other times it's a lot. Yeah, so once it displaces, you have to reapply lube, right? BDZ is actually harder to work with because it's so thick. Like people do say like you can put it into like a syringe or something but I personally found it a little bit too unwieldy for that in general. And so that's why I stuck with 205. It was easier to work with at the end of the day. Use what you got, yeah. When was the CAKE60 fulfilled? Was it recently? Yes. So there's a CAKE60 R1 group buy. It was a rather small group buy that was run. That one was already fulfilled maybe a couple months ago, right? Hate, if you're still around. There is a Geek Hack link. I would post it, but my hands are full right now. Dale Snail, lube these nuts. I would. But what's up, dude? Hello. Good to see you, dude. How's it going? I ran in August and completed in November. Yeah, there we go. So it's been a couple months now. Yeah. So that one ran a while back and fulfilled pretty quickly since it was a small buy. And also Mr. Hate is pretty efficient at fulfilling these. And so yeah, there will be more being run later on. So if you do exclamation next GB or next group buy, there's a little info, a little snippet of info for what's coming next from HAYTCO. It's going to be an HKB layout, 6U, with or without blockers. Price TBD, I think, colors TBD. But yeah, and then if you wanted to commission, so these cases can be colored plexiglass. You can do it, I believe. I saw an announcement, or not an announcement, but like a comment saying like Hate was trying to run them like 5 a month or so, I think. So if you were interested, you can always contact Hate for that as well. Real tempted to say hands full of these nuts when you said that, not gonna lie. True. It's okay, Dale. It's an everyday activity. I'm no stranger to it. Is this a GMK slasher man? Yeah, that's Dale. Yo, when are light tactiles coming up? My man. Hey, pull the fast one, use group thing without any Pantone, so you can know the best colors. Every build pings HAYTCO. Oh, I guess that is true, huh? Well, I don't think it matters too much. Just a highlight, I think. I'm learning something new by watching. I use too much lube on my stabs compared to you. Yeah, so agnostic, and agnostic X. The main part where you want to use the lube is the tip of the wire. Because if you think about it, rattle from the stabilizer is mainly from there. Sometimes it happens here at the L bend, where the wire is bent here. Sometimes you have a little bit of wiggle room there. Normally it's not an issue unless you like stretched out the little plastic clip there, or if the plastic clip already comes in pretty loose. But the main part where you're gonna get a lot of the rattle is here at the end of the wire. So you want to make sure you cover this part with slightly more lube. Specifically, you want a little blob of lube kind of facing upwards, because that's where the wire is gonna touch the stabilizer insert. So you don't want too much. Like, it seems a little dense here, but it's really not that much. It's really just a little dot more than the rest. And then, you know, just carefully cover the wire with your brush or whatever you're using. That's what I do. And then grab the housing and then carefully insert so that you don't rub it up everywhere, and then just put it all the way in and clip. Still playing the Linny stuff. Think like using that as a fundraising for stem molds. Nice. Build my dolphin with your stab lubing guide, and I think it's one of 2 builds I own with actually flawless stabs. Yeah, people have asked me if I would do like a lubing video or something, but I need an editor for that. I need a video editor for it. Like I don't want to like. I want to do it nicely, you know. Like I want to make sure it's like nice, but TBH though, just come on any stream and I'll tell you how to do it. Like it's like I'll just teach people how to do it just as I do it. So, but that's good, Ella Kingdom. Like I'm actually glad that it worked for you. But yeah, like over the years, I found that this was pretty much the most consistent way of doing it without having to over apply the lube. I'm pretty sure that I probably use more than it could be, but might as well be safe. You could just click what you told us about stabs. Perfect. Oh, that's nice of you. Yeah, why not? Maybe I could do that. Does your lubing technique differ from the other lubing guides out there? In principle, no, it does not differ as much. I think the only thing is maybe they didn't emphasize it nearly as much. But basically what Nathan does is still pretty much the same. I don't know if Andy and Keyboard and other people, I don't know what exactly they've said because I don't really watch all these videos. Like I would watch these videos if I actually had a question about it. But I haven't really like wondered. But I've seen like Nathan's, and Nathan's in principle is pretty much the same thing. I just don't know if people kind of like, if you watch the video, I don't know if people like think, oh, like that's what I should do and emphasize on it. So maybe there was not enough emphasis. I don't know. It honestly is about consistency and practice, to be honest. Like it's just, you just want to do it over and over again, and eventually you reach a point where your stabs end up being pretty much the same, or at least similar. Like even in the failing aspects of the stabilizer, it'll be similar. Like you'll end up having similar issues over time. Like I know for sure that my builds are not gonna last forever either. Like the stabs are not gonna last forever in the perfect form. That's inevitable, actually. Nothing you can do about it. So I do suggest having like a brush or some 205 and a brush, or maybe like a little blunt syringe where you can just put some 205 in there and like put it from the back portion of the stab. It's not very difficult, and just apply little. So always for lube, less is more. And in the case of reapplying lube, like you don't want to drown it in lube IMO, because it'll push it out all the way down to the PCB, and that's just like unnecessarily messy. You just want it enough to just hold right at the tip of the wire, where the issue is happening normally. Put in a block of resin that will be perfect forever. I mean, I wish there was a way to sort of congeal things. Yeah, if there was an actual way to congeal like the chemical or something that doesn't prevent movement but at the same time kind of congeals and leaves things in place, that would be the ideal way to do it, right? That would be perfect. But since almost everybody who has tried something like that, has had an issue with it. Like I think, well, actually, doesn't Cookie Curls? So Cookie Curls, she does a she uses like a, was it nail polish? I don't remember what it was. It was something that hardened on the stabilizer, right? Pretty sure it was something like that. Super glue? Yeah, maybe it might have been super glue and something. But that's what like she would recommend, I remember. Like that was like her secret to doing stabs. And I think it's the same idea. Like you're just trying to fill in that space in a more permanent way, instead of having to do the, I want to try the Rama guide. So the problem with Rama's, like the rubber thing, is how are you gonna make sure the rubber is tightly wound around the wire? That's kind of tough. Hey Max, thank you so much for the 5 months. Thank you. Good evening. I had a good weekend. Thank you for asking. I can tolerate unlooped switches, but unlooped stabs are god awful, especially spacebar. Yeah. So another thing that I do notice people are ticked off by, which I think is not always relevant, is the spacebar stab ticking. But specifically, when the ticking only happens when you're unnaturally using the spacebar. So like, okay, like for a demonstration, like if you're testing your stab like this, right? Like with your index finger, right? And maybe it ticks, right? It ticks maybe when you press here. Right? But if it doesn't tick when you're typing, like, cause when you're typing your thumb is closer to the middle and you know, not so much at the end of the key. If it's not really ticking when you're typing, you should be okay. I think you've achieved your goal. Eventually though, like if it does tick when you're doing this and it's not ticking like this, eventually it'll give up and start ticking regardless of where you press it. That's just probably because the lube moved around or something, or maybe you just didn't apply enough. But I think the expectation should be that it just doesn't tick when you're typing. But people tend to be easily bothered, at least in this hobby. I've noticed like people are super picky, and so they tend to be very easily bothered by everything. Yeah. What if you have one side tick, but if you don't use that side, it still irritates me? Again, it's all dependent on your tolerance of things. I mean, some people are just more tolerant of defects than others. I personally have learned to kind of be more realistic about it and be like, well, you know, there's only so much I can do about it, and it's a temporary solution anyway. So, as long as it doesn't bother me while I'm doing work with the board, like while I'm actually using the board, I think it's fine with me. It won't really bother me. All right, let's try to be careful about this one here. Okay. Manoli, hello. Soran, hi. Imagine desoldering whole board just to fix a small tick you wouldn't even hear normally. I mean, it happens. I used to be like that. That's the thing. I kind of learned my lesson over time. I was just like, oh, it bothers me so much. I'm gonna desolder and redo these, and then, you know, not even a month would pass, and then I'll be like, I'm bothered again. And then I was like, how many times am I gonna be rebuilding this for something that is actually pretty minor and it's not always bothering me? So, yeah. So I ended up sort of adjusting my expectations on that and just thinking, well, as long as it doesn't happen in use, and, you know. I do get easily annoyed with keyboard stuff not being perfect. With the amount of money poured into this computer access device, I really like it to be as good as possible. I mean, no doubt. I mean, I don't disagree with that at all, because I am like that too. I think in general, the type of people that it attracts, the hobby itself, is like that kind of type A, perfectionist sort of type. So, or rather, like, yeah. So yeah, it can be an issue, for sure. Thok Thumbs, thank you so much for giving out a sub. Hey, thank you. Maybe Toper is the way. Toper is great for sure. The real way to eliminate stab rattles is just to not use stabs. Very true. Especially if your hair flies everywhere. Yeah, so people with also with pets, cats and dogs, like furry pets, like it's always a struggle, because like cat hair and stuff gets everywhere and you don't really notice it. It's just kind of floating around. sticks to your clothes and then goes onto the. That's how you make your burr gun worth? How else would you justify spending a few hundred buying a desoldering gun? Well, the desoldering gun pays itself off after a few, actually, for me. Because it's like, time is money. Ain't nobody got time to be using a pump all the time. Bailey doesn't shed? Oh, that's sweet. Just threw the solder out by hand. Yeah, just put your hand on the stove and heat up your hand to melt the solder, and then rip it out by hand. Not dangerous at all. Please don't do that. Please don't do it. Right now, like, I heard a little bit of movement here, so what you can do is grab a syringe while the keycap's on or off, doesn't matter, and then just a teeny bit. Alright, that's enough. Can't put my finger on this video game track. I believe it should be from Zelda. Oh well, like a remix of the Zelda tracks. Okay, I think that's fine. Waited too long to get a HAYTCO, did like 10 boards with a hand pump. Yeah, I did like a dozen boards too before I got my desoldering gun, and I ultimately regret taking so long, but I mean, back then I didn't think I was gonna desolder that many boards. It was like 10 over, like, it was like a dozen over a longish period of time. Like, I didn't buy it for like the entire first year. Yeah, same. I mean, back when I first started, I didn't think I was gonna be doing this like this much. Now I'm like, you know, now I'm like 500-600 boards in, and like having built like that many, and I'm like, well, I need some tools that will save me a lot of time. So here we are. Hey, you wanted a step caps, right? I think you used step caps for this. So step caps, and then regular. The rest is all pretty much settled. Yeah, okay. I'm noticing something kind of funny. Hey, do you lube these switches? Just kind of curious. Do you lube and film these switches? So, the way the switch film is placed is so perfect. Kind of made me chuckle. Because I'm like, if there's anyone who would send me switches with switch films placed so perfectly, like, they're literally at exactly the same distance, like peeking out of the switch, exactly the same distance, perfectly parallel to the switch cutout. I'm like, there's not many people who would be so so involved in making sure the switch film sits correctly, or like sits exactly in the same spot for every single switch. It just makes me chuckle because I know Hate's super super precise about stuff like this. I mean, it's a good thing, but it's funny because I'm the kind of person who after a while I'm just like, oh dude, F it, I can't do it anymore. Like, I can't be bothered by the placement. Lube stations are the biggest game changer. Honestly, I just use like little takeout tubs that are clean. That's pretty much what I use for my switch parts. I don't use lube stations anymore. I did for a while actually, but realized it was actually slowing me down more than it was speeding me up. So I decided to go back and just using like little Tupperware. I still put them in piles in front of me. Yeah, I do that if it's a small number of switches, but when I'm doing like a whole batch, or not a whole batch, but at least like, you know, maybe 30 or more, then I prefer having something to compartmentalize things. I mean, I already have these tubs around all the time, so it's like pretty easy. Oh man, these switches are clipping in so nicely into the plate. It's actually really nice. It's so satisfying. When the switch clips in just right. A+. There we go. Okay. I like the rails that come with the Holy Panda. Oh yeah, the little switch rails. Yeah, those are pretty cool. All right, that's a nice cutout. It says CAKE60 R1 here. Pretty neat. And let's get started soldering these. Alright, waiting for this to heat up. Alright, I think it's all good. Is this dry yet? Oh, it dried up. Nice. Alright, some of this fan here. Quick build today, because it's 60%, and everything's going so smoothly. dried? You spill on your mat? Oh, it's just water. It was just water. But you know how like some mats are like a certain color? Like, you know, just like clothing, right? It's like when it gets wet, it's like a super noticeable mark. But yeah, it was just water. Alrighty. I don't think I'm gonna go through all these group buys and stuff that are happening. I think you can check them all out on Mech Group Buys and other places, but just be aware that we do have sponsors for the channel. Which you can check out with exclamation sponsors, but just in general, I will say a lot of the vendors do keycap group buys, switches, desk pads, other accessories that you might need. If you require custom plates to be made, you can use CBB Planet, and there is a discount code available for that if you are getting any plates from CBB Planet. CBBplanet.com. And then if you need cables, Space Cables does color matched cables for a lot of the key sets that run through group buys. Novel Keys has a promo code BOLT for any in-stock items that you might purchase. I believe a few items are excluded. I believe sometimes the GMK sets extras are excluded from using the promo code, but you can always try, see if it works. If it doesn't, it's probably because of their restrictions. And we have some affiliates like Lboard, mechanicalkeyboards.com if you're purchasing anything from there. For example, if you want to purchase an HKB or something, or a Philco or something like that from mechanicalkeyboards.com, you can use the creator code Lightning to provide a small kickback. Yeah, if you're in the EU, you can also purchase apparel and supplies from Mr. Salvin. Now that once Mr. Salvin launches some new projects, and specifically launches some of the in-stock fulfillment ideas that they're working on, you might see more activity over at the Salvin website, and you can certainly purchase stuff from there. I believe they also restocked Stabies just recently from the recent proto round. It's still the same proto round from last time, but I believe if they're not out of stock, hopefully you can order some. But yeah, just do keep in mind that you do have to pay for international shipping for that. If you have use for any Wilbatech PCBs, the Graphite Edition PCBs for maybe your key cult or your thermal, or those also sell on Salvin's website. I didn't know you were sponsored by MK.com. Yeah, like I'm an affiliate with them. Basically just like kickback for any purchases that you do with the creator codes or whatever. They do that with a lot of creators who just have a code with them. It's all good though. There's also Keyspresso. If you're located in Canada, you can purchase from Keyspresso and get a discount. There's a promo code for that specifically. Yeah. Good guy Salvin. Hopefully we'll see more of that stuff, like in-stock boards from people like Salvin and people who have more direct access. Sort of like the way Matrix Lab can do some in-stock drops occasionally. Although I believe some of their flash sales and stuff, they end up being pretty expensive. But it'll be good to see more of that kind of stuff for custom keyboards. I guess it's similar to the Mechanisk model. I think the Mechanisk model also, they do a lot more in-stock stuff nowadays than they used to. But their cases are a little bit simpler, so maybe that helps. In-stock is the way to go. Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, it's always been sort of the idea that we've always wanted, right? Like, people have wanted, but before it was harder to do because of MOQs and the expenses around that and the logistics. But now that there's big enough vendors who can afford the storage space and the employees, the logistics, it's a lot easier for us consumers. But yeah, I mean, it's been several years now since some of these vendors have been created, and so it's good to see the community grow further like that. Lots of people going full-time and, you know, managing the keyboard business seriously. And, well, we've also seen examples of some people not managing properly, so unfortunately have seen some exit scams and, you know, that kind of stuff. Empty promises, perhaps. And car sellers, I guess, too. If you would like to have a pension and a 900,000 Australian dollar car, you can have that too. You might be funding the new group buy. Alright, I think we're good to go now. That was a quick soldering session. Alright. Let's test it out first before we put it into the case. Let's get this. Your soldering is faster than me putting switches into hot swap. How well does that U extractor work for you? It works pretty well. I haven't had like the fan itself does pull a decent amount of fumes. I mean, doesn't matter what extractor you use, you do have to put it pretty close to where your source is. So you know, just like earlier, I had it right here. But as long as you do that, I think the fan does a pretty good job, and the filter is fine. Yeah, the range is not gonna be huge, but it works well as far as like I haven't felt like I've been ingesting fumes, you know, like breathing in fumes. The potato, have you tried Gateron CJs? Yes, I did last stream. If you go onto my YouTube channel, there's a KOD75 V3.1 that I built with CJs, and it sounded pretty nice. Alright, nice. Everything works. Perfect. Alright. So next step is O-ring. Just get your O-ring, work it around here. And then, you know, you do each corner, and then ultimately just around. You can press it a little bit if you want, just so it sticks around the switches nicely. Nice and taut. I guess we can do the Toothpick Mod also, just might as well. So if you want to make sure that your stabilizers don't come off, it's as simple as this. So you have there's your stabilizer, right? So in my case, I just grab a few toothpicks here. Right, so I have some toothpicks over here. just regular household toothpicks that you can use in the kitchen or whatever. So you just grab the toothpick, just insert it between the clip, right there between the clip, and then chop off. Do it with the other side. Do the same here. Same with the space bar. And the ship. And that's it. Pretty simple, right? Alright, so now we have our case here. There's our CAKE60 case. Since there is a USB port that sticks out slightly further, you want to make sure you put in the port in first. And then just carefully compress your O-ring. Actually, hold up, it's not all the way there. Actually, I think I mistakenly pulled it a little too far in, so I'm just gonna make sure it's classic wedge tech. Yeah. It's a little tight here. I wonder why. Oh, it's getting stuck from the PCB. I need to make sure the PCB's underneath the pillars. Okay. Oh, this fitment's kind of tight. Use a toothpick on the front edge can help push the O-ring down? Oh, okay. I see. So you're saying that the O-ring's a little tight here. Okay. There we go. Plopped it right down all the way. Alright. Let's just check from the sides. You can always just double check that your O-ring is in place. So in case you haven't noticed, it's a nice kind of cake analogy here, where you have like the filling and the top layer. But as long as it's nice and parallel and you can see the O-ring sort of rest on top of the pillars, you're good to go. So that's that. Alright, have you heard about the Tonga 65? Yes, I have. Oh, what's this? Alright, let's put the rest of the caps on though. Poop brown. interruption. Love the desk mat. Where's it from? It's actually from Drop. I purchased it on Drop. It's like called, I think it was called like Chenyi Harvest desk mat, something like that. Something similar to that. But yeah, it was from Drop. They did like a run a while back. Oh man, look how nice that looks against the plate and the switches. Sheesh. Oh, do we want enter accent? Yeah, I'm actually thinking the accent would look good on this because of the... I think the accent might look good, so I might do the accent today. Nice little baggie you got there, yeah, I know, right? Too bad it's not my own cap. But yeah. Any of you guys won the KWK sale? Because I didn't. I don't think. I haven't checked my email. Yeah, I don't think I won. So I think they're out probably by now. They should be, I think. I think I know what's in there. I think you should, right? Let's use the accent here. Cha-chong! This is the first time I see a Vandal like this close. I mean, I've been to like meetups, but Mr. Hate sent out his mustard yellow and is it gray or black eye Vandal. Looks so sick. Oop, so nice. It's a little bit darker than the Serika yellow, but it does look very nice nonetheless. Yeah, such a striking sculpt. I really like this sculpt. It's so nice. It's also keycap profile, which makes it even nicer. But yeah, very cool. It's not color matched. Oh yeah, that's right. Where's the guy who threw shade at me for not color matching like my cable or something? I forget. Oh man, that was hilarious. Bruised banana. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Dude, your hair looks as long as mine. My hair? It's a little on the longer side now. Yeah, I should probably get a haircut soon. I get uncomfortable with long hair, longish hair. So yeah, the guy called me. Yeah, he called me some name. All right, friends, let's give this a shot. So today we have CAKE60 with an aluminum plate, 58 O-ring, and we have some Gateron X switches. These are the new milky top yellow stem switches from Gateron. They've been lubed with 205 grade 0. Have some TX films. And where to get haircut in New York City? So many places. I mean, I just go to a barber. But yeah, but you can go like Chinatown, K-Town, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so aluminum plate, Gateron X, lubed and filmed with GMK Serika. That's not a brass plate. No, it isn't. It is an aluminum plate that's been anodized in like a soft sort of yellow. All right, let's give this a shot. Okay, here we go. Gateron X so good. Is it loud in person? It's not too loud. It sounds kind of like other switches, but it definitely is on the clackier side of things than like the milky yellows that I've tried. It's also like fairly lightly lubed, from what I can tell. So that could contribute to it. But I don't know what it is, but I hear some kind of pinging noise. I'm wondering if it's from the case. So, but I kind of hear like a pinging noise somewhere. I wonder if something's stuck. Do you guys hear that? Is it the plate? Yeah, I think it's the plate. Maybe I need to reseat it. Let me try reseating it because kind of sounds a little pingy. Here. Yeah, it's definitely like a sort of wait, how do you pull this? Oh my goodness. Can't just grab by, no, you can't really grab by the keycaps. The keycaps would fall off before you actually pull. So I think I'm just gonna pull it by the plate instead. Hey, how do you pull this out? Is there an easier way to do this? Just in case you made it into the design. It's pretty tight. I don't want to scratch the piece. I don't want to scratch the plexiglass. That's the thing. It's a little iffy here. Just don't want to scratch it. So it's a pretty tight case though here. Let me see if I can pull it by the caps or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very tight fit here. But hold on. Gotta try something. I'm actually thinking maybe it's the way it sits on the table. O-ring causing too much tightness? Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a tight fit here. So I'm not exactly sure. Is the USB-C making contact? Let's see. I don't know. No, it's actually pretty centered in the port section. So it's pretty centered on there. I think if you reseat it, yeah, I think I just need to reseat it. So yeah. I think it's pretty pretty tight here, so that's why. Okay, let me see if I can pull it out here. Oh man, this is a tight ass fit. I'm going back to the 3.5 OD 70A O-ring instead of this one. Oh, that's that what you were using before and now it's a little different? Use this plastic spudger? Yeah, let me go find one. I have a few, but I just don't know where it is. Okay, here it is. Okay, let me see. Still want to scratch this plexiglass though. Okay, it's coming out, I think. There. All right, it's out. Okay, so let's see. Sound profile still the same. Should I try a different O-ring? I actually do have a unicorn O-ring that I can try. I could try that actually. Let's try a unicorn O-ring. I think I have one of those here. Let me go get it. BRB, one sec. Okay, we're back. Alright, so I have a slightly... I don't know how... It's a little more stretchy, so maybe I'll try this. But this is the O-ring from the unicorn. I think from the round 1 unicorn, maybe? So let's try this one instead. That went more easily. but I still hear that ping. There's a little ping in this. I don't know what it is. But it definitely comes from the case. Right there, see? I don't know. The switches are super smooth. The switches are actually really smooth. Yeah, the switches are great. I like the switches. I would say they're a little bit higher pitched than your regular Gateron. But the switches themselves are actually really nice. Yeah. All right. Let's try this again. So this time I'm using an O-ring from the Unicorn. I actually don't know what the specific specs of that is. I think I could probably find it. It's in the Unicorn channel in the single Discord. But this is from, I think this is from the round 1. It's one of those red O-rings that they had. So let's try this one now. It's also 50A, I'm pretty sure, yeah. But I think it was a little bit, I don't know, this one feels stiffer for some reason, but yeah. Alright, let's give it a shot anyway. Sounds fine? Okay. Is it spring ping? I don't think it's spring ping. It sounds like the case to me. But maybe it's... I don't think it's spring ping though. It's like resonance when the upstroke happens. But anyway. Sounds like a keyboard still. I don't know. Anyhow, let's listen to the mods. Here are the mods. You might be right. It could be spring ping. You didn't lube the springs? I didn't lube the switches, so I don't know. What did I, It sounds like spring ping? Okay, well, if it's the switches, there's no big deal. Actually, isn't there an... Wait a second. is the placement of the pillars the same as a unicorn? Because we can always try my own unicorn build on inside of here. OG sound, yeah. This is a OG custom sound. No pun intended to custom, but OG Korean custom sound. Stock stabs, stock springs, with desirable saran wrapped. Old unicorn build won't work if it's USB mini. It should be. Oh, true. Oh, but the daughter board, it would be an issue. So, well, I can always disconnect the daughter board and just try it. Like I don't have to plug in the daughter board in. Although I'm not sure about the clearance, so that would be the only thing. Can't forget the Korean flags. Yeah. Do it for science? Yeah, why not? Why not? Well, we can do it. We can do it for science. All right, let's give it a shot then. Because I do have the lavender build in my R2.1, if I recall. That one should fit, I think. Man, this is a tight ass fit though. In this case, let me get some leverage here. Woo! Sorry, that was just my spudger coming off. Man, this is tight. This is tight. You know, Mr. Hate, might not be a bad idea to have a way to remove the plate assembly without pulling on the plate itself. I think it might not be a bad idea to have something to push it from behind or something. That said, it would involve changing the design a decent bit, but I think just given the placement of the port and everything, it's not a bad idea to have like an exit plan, pretty much like an escape plan here. All right, let's see. Let's see. The CAKE60 does not have underglow. Yeah, it does. This one does not have underglow. I'm not sure about future iterations, but this particular PCB right now does not have underglow. Okay. Okay, and let's try this one out. So on this one I have lavenders. So but yeah, what's nice about the unicorn is that you can just push it out like that, which is kind of nice. But yeah, let's see. I can always just remove this. You can just do it without the daughter board connected at all. So okay, yeah, the cutouts are the same, I think. Yeah, okay. Might be a tight fit though, let's see. Is there something on the plate that you can pull though? Not quite. Not quite. Oh man, this is like getting really stuck here on the case. The tolerances on the cake, I think, are tighter than the unicorns, so that might be why. Alright, there. Oh, that sounds pretty different. There is a cutout on the plate, but it's a little small. Yeah, I think if you don't have a cutout underneath, what I would do, is if you can put cutouts where you can basically do something like using a switch puller, like kind of like this, something like that is not a bad idea. Yeah, something like that, if that makes sense. Like a cutout where you can pull from, like with switch puller, or like something like that, something that can hook onto the aluminum and pull it out. A second cutout, yeah, pretty much. Okay, I guess it was the switches, because this already sounds quite different. So let's give this one a shot. Obviously we don't need the tester, but you know. Alright, here we go. But yeah, this sounds really nice. So I guess it is spring ping then, which is good to know. So if it's just the switches, no big deal. Alright, here are the mods on this one. This one has lavenders on a full FR4. Still has the same flexibility as the unicorn in that sense, although the yeah, I mean the case tolerances are a little tighter than the unicorns. Like the gap between the plate assembly and the case are a little tighter than the unicorns, which is why I'm probably struggling a little more in taking it in and out. But yeah, the artisan is blue and the keycaps are purple. It's actually like a purple, like a kind of like it's almost like, yeah, it almost looks blue, but it's really purple. It's supposed to be like Tokyo Nights colorway. But this sounds great. Honestly, this sounds like what I would expect from a nice plastic case, which is sweet. Has a very characteristic plastic case sound, which is great. The dimensions are identical? I don't know, but it sits pretty tightly, so maybe just need to have a place to pull then the switches, the plate from. Yeah, I really like the plastic case sound myself, so personally, I'm into that. Oh, maybe I could actually use this to pull then here. I probably need to push here. Let's see, so. All right, assembly is out. Might need a little buffing there. Okay, so I guess we can always build this one up again with loop springs. If you want, but I'll put it back in for now, and then yeah, we can worry about that later. Oh, what the? Oh, there it is. All right. But yeah, so there we have it. Oh, I should probably replace that O-ring, but it's all good. Elgato gambling sponsor scene. Oh man. Got a question for you. Is there any plates you would avoid using BCPs? No, not really, no. I think you probably need to try to know. So, but I guess if you don't want anything too loud, because the BCPs are probably loud enough as it is, maybe something like steel or brass is probably going to be louder. So if you don't want that, you could avoid it. But otherwise, like FR4, PC, like plastic plates and stuff should be a little bit more muted because they're softer, just generally. But you have to try to know, to be honest. Let's see, what did I miss? Pre-leave my mic setup. Just check my kit.co website. There's like all the little equipment stuff is on there. So, but yeah, just generally speaking, I use a RME Babyface Pro, and I have a Rode NT1 mic connected through XLR. That's about it though, mic wise. Okay. PCP's in the mode 65 with brass plate. I see. Okay. Yeah. The brass plate tends to be a little louder. Carbon fiber is also going to end up being a little louder than usual because it seems to amplify a little bit of the sound for the switches. Carbon fiber. So yeah, like I do that. Like I have my JNB2C is built with carbon fiber plate with MX Browns, and it sounds like the switches sound pretty sound a little louder, although they're a little heavily lubed. So yeah. Chokoya, hello. What's up? All right, y'all have any questions? Let's show off the board for a bit. So here's our CAKE60 with GMK Serika. Yeah, how do I get one? Well, !NextGB is information for the group buy. That's coming up later in coming months. But basically, the next one is going to be HKB layout only 6U HKB layout. So that's going to be like the original HKB layout. So it's going to have a longer right side blocker than the left. It's kind of come with blockers or without blockers. !Gear should give you the website, Ruben. And the clear is an in-stock sale within the next few weeks. There you go. So this clear is going to be an in-stock sale within the next few weeks. So there is the side. Yeah, there's a side with the Cake logo. Looking sweet. I actually really like how this is done. Look at how clean that looks. I really like this Cake logo. It's sweet looking. But yeah, here's the back. Oops, a little too far. I mean, a little too closed in, too zoomed in. Here's the back, USB port right there, nice and centered in the port here. But I do like the look of this. I do like how the light kind of travels through here because it's an empty space here. So you have it all fully cut out. It's a little scratched here. Oh no, it's just okay. It just comes off. But you can see the yellow PCB. This is without daughter board. Yes, correct. This is a left side USB, no daughter board. Yeah. Very light case. I imagine this is maybe like a pound and a half. I don't know. I could actually weigh it. Yeah, it's a very nice board to travel with. It's like an HKB. Yeah, a pound and a oh look, a pound and a half. This is 660 grams. Man, we're 6 grams off from the number of the devil. Damn it. Let's add something on top of it. Hey, let's go. So now if you travel with a board built like this with an extra O-ring, you'll have 666 gram keyboard to travel with. I love how that was casual but exact. But anyway. CAKE666 is the next design I'm working on too. Wait, actually? It was not staged. It was not staged. Excuse me. It was not staged. It was totally not staged. See? 660 and then boom, 666. 66% with KWK. That's sweet. Planned leak. I didn't even intend on taking an extra O-ring out for the for this. So yeah. I do like these Gateron X though. I think I'm gonna get a batch of these Gateron X for sure to use because they do feel pretty nice. Really smooth, by the way. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get some of those. Did I miss a sound test? Yeah. It weighs the same amount I paid for my Mode 65. TL that lubing springs matters? Well, hey, every day you learn something new. It just depends on the switch, honestly. Like there are some switches where it doesn't matter whether you lube or not for the springs. But I don't know why, but in some specific switches, it might be because of the housing, but it causes like a very resonant sound in the housing when you have very dry springs. It's probably like the material of the spring and stuff too, like how the springs are made. But yeah. Can I hear the mods? Sure, why not? Big fan of the 2U backspace on this board though, because it sounds so nice and it's so nice to hear. But yeah, it looks really clean with Serika. This clear plexiglass. The switches are pretty smooth though, yeah. Well, I think that's all I have for today. Oh, it's only been 2 hours, and that's not bad. Was a kind of shorter stream today because of the build being a smaller build. But if you do have questions, let me know. I'll probably stick around for a few more minutes, and if there's anything else, I will address it. If not, we can always just go ahead and look for someone to raid, which I actually am gonna start checking. See the Voodoo Bear building a Hemo TKL. Disastertron. Katana X Kaji is doing a tiramisu. I guess that's a GMK tiramisu or whatever collab, Mr. Suit. Can we rate whom? Yeah. Alright, so I don't think I have anything else to address, but yeah. So next stream, let me actually see what I have planned. Give me a sec. Let's check what we have on the queue here. We have a bunch of other boards still. Okay. I'll actually have to see. I still need to finish some switches and stuff, so it might be either a dolphin or something else. But yeah, I don't know actually. Need to see if they're okay with me building right away. All right. Thanks for the build. No problem, dude. Yeah, address these nuts. No problem. Yeah, so check out HAYTCO if you haven't. Instagram.com/HAYTCO, or you can also join their Discord server where they provide updates. I believe you do need to be 2FA verified to be able to talk in the server. Yeah, just keep an eye out. They also post on GeekHack every so often whenever there are any new buys and things of the sort. They did for the CAKE R1, but I would say that the best way for you to remain stay up to date with any HAYTCO design stuff is through the Instagram and through their Discord. So check them out. Yeah, and I think that's all I have for tonight. For I guess this evening. And let's go raid Katana probably. I was thinking of raiding Katana. Alright, let's go raid Mr. Katana X Kaji. So Katana X Kaji, if you don't know, they're the primary really nowadays. They're the primary streamer from Mexico. They do speak pretty fluent English. They actually teach, and yeah, he is multilingual, but the streams are primarily in Spanish. He resides in Mexico City, I believe, and which is where I actually grew up. And yeah, he also does keyboard builds. He has done like a subathon before, and does a lot of other content, but primarily the primary audience for his streams are for like Latin America, but he does like multilingual streams as well. So yeah, he's super chill. So let's go check him out. And let's say, oh yeah, Arkeebs. Yeah, so Arkeebs is also, but I believe Ark is located here in New York City right now, right? Which I haven't met them yet. Okay, so Miyaga raid. Let's go. Let's just copy paste this, okay? ¿Conoces a Benito Carmelo? Just copy paste that in his chat. Oh wait, shoot. I think the Miyago didn't go through, so there. Just copy paste that in his chat. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy, and have a good week.